Have you ever just looked at a globe and it hits you? Just how much of our own planet is blue? It's this one giant, unexplored mystery. And that gets you thinking, right? It leads to this really fascinating question about our priorities.
I mean, we all see the incredible things NASA has accomplished in space. The Mars rovers, the Webb telescope, it's amazing. So it's a totally natural thing to wonder, why don't we have a powerhouse agency just like that, but dedicated to exploring the world right here, deep beneath the waves?
Well, here's the kicker. That agency, it already exists. It's got a huge mission, it's been around for decades, and it has its own fleet of ships, planes, and satellites. Which, just raises an even better question. Why haven't most of us heard of it?
Okay, so let me introduce you. Meet NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. And yeah, on paper, this is it. This is our NASA for the ocean. They're responsible for everything from forecasting hurricanes to exploring the deepest sea trenches. The real mystery isn't why it doesn't exist, but why it lives in NASA's shadow. And the answer to that starts with their very, very different origin stories.
To really get the difference between these two, you have to look at the completely different reasons they were created in the first place. One was born out of a massive global crisis, and the other was born out of a need for, well, better organization. This quote from a Reddit user just absolutely nails it. NASA was forged in the fire of the Cold War. Its mission wasn't just about science, not even close. It was about national pride, about technological dominance, and about proving on a global stage whose political system was superior.
And the difference is just striking. NASA was created back in 1958 with one singular dramatic goal: beat the Soviets to the moon. The mission was thrilling, it was clear, it was like a movie plot. On the other hand, you've got NOAA, established in 1970 to basically bring a bunch of different government services, like the Weather Bureau and the Coast Survey, all under one roof. So one was a high-stakes sprint, the other was basically bureaucratic housekeeping.
So that fundamental difference in how they started, it created this massive gap in three key areas: how much money they got, the kind of pressure they were under, and, importantly, how they sold themselves to all of us.
So first, let's just talk about the money, because it's stark. NASA's budget is consistently up in the tens of billions of dollars. NOAA's is often just a fraction of that, somewhere around a third. And as you can imagine, that kind of funding gap has a huge impact on the scale and ambition of what you can do. But here's the other thing, and this is so crucial. NASA didn't just build rockets, it built a brand. They were masters of public relations. They turned astronauts into national heroes with exclusive magazine deals. They totally controlled the narrative. They even timed huge, historic missions for maximum political impact right before Congress was set to vote on their funding. They sold space exploration as this epic story we all wanted to be a part of.
And really, this all comes down to one word: pressure. But we're talking about two completely different kinds of pressure. For NASA, the pressure was political, the entire country's need to win the space race. For ocean exploration, though, the pressure is literal, it's physical, and it is absolutely immense.
Think about it this way. When you travel from sea level up into the vacuum of space, you're dealing with a pressure change of just one atmosphere. Your main problem is keeping that pressure in, but going to the bottom of the ocean, you're dealing with hundreds of times that pressure trying to crush you from the outside. Engineering a vehicle that can withstand that is an incredible challenge. You could argue it's even harder than building a space capsule.
Okay, we've got this story of two agencies with different origins, different budgets, and totally different challenges. You might think they'd be rivals, competing for our attention and for funding. But the truth is actually a lot more interesting.
See, the agency of the stars and the agency of the seas, they aren't rivals at all. They're partners. They work together constantly, and in a lot of ways, one couldn't really do its job without the other. Their missions are deeply, deeply intertwined. So how does this partnership work? It's simple, really. NASA puts the eyes in the sky. You have these joint satellite missions like Jason 3 and SWAT that rely on NASA's rockets and instruments. And then NOAA uses that data to measure the height of the sea surface, literally down to the centimeter. This gives us this incredible, unprecedented view of ocean currents, sea level rise, and all the energy in the ocean that drives our weather.
And this partnership isn't just between two American agencies. No way. These are massive international efforts involving partners from France, from Europe, and Canada. I mean, it makes sense, right? You can't understand a global system like our oceans without global cooperation. And very often, you'll find NASA and NOAA right at the center of it all.
Okay, so NOAA is the NASA of our oceans, and they work together. Got it. But the story has one final, absolutely fascinating twist. The lines between space exploration and ocean exploration, they are blurring in a way I don't think anybody could have predicted.
Now, after everything we've just talked about, this is going to sound like a total contradiction, but it's true. NASA is becoming a leading ocean exploration agency. But their next great frontier, it isn't on Earth. It's a whole series of vast, deep oceans scattered all across our solar system.
Yep, this is a real thing. It's called NASA's Roadmap to Ocean Worlds. They have identified multiple moons in our own solar system that have massive liquid water oceans hiding underneath these thick, icy shells. We're talking about places like Jupiter's moon Europa and Saturn's moon Enceladus, and these are now considered some of the most likely places to find extraterrestrial life. So the tech that's needed to explore them, submarines, ice drills, life detection sensors, is pushing NASA deep into the world of oceanography.
So in the end, that question, why isn't there a NASA for the ocean? It has a simple answer, a complex history, and a totally mind-bending future. The agency for our oceans has been here all along. But the ultimate irony is that the most famous exploration agency in history had to look to the stars to find its next great oceans. Makes you wonder, what do you think they'll find out there?